Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope y'all thought I didn't go anywhere, because I didn't. The word of truth does not go anywhere, even though we think it may take a pause or something is not speaking. And even though you think it is gone, it is still there. That is a thing that has followed human history for as long as we can tell. Thank y'all for listening in, and welcome in to the Monday Motivation episode of A Different View. As y'all can tell in my voice, again, I am a victim of the change of the seasons. So we may not be as animated as we normally are. However, we're going to get the truth out there on the thing, because your boy has been bubbling and stewing on some things of the past, some things of the present that can affect our future. I really do believe that that's how people should look at life, because whether we know it or not, that is how life is lived. It is lived always, in past, present, in future. Never forget that. Never forget that. Life today is set up that many of us forget about and look away from and discredit our past. So we're going to get into a little verse here. I know it's not the Sunday message, but we're just going to drop some knowledge on you. See, again, Christians have done a thing here, and I'm going to continue on this because again, the improprieties that have been put out there from various religious organizations has caused people to go astray. And I think, me as a Christian, if the one I call Master, the Son of God, Christ, who we follow after Christ's thoughts and processes, in honor of his sacrifice for humanity, then you've got to study how Christ operated in the planet if this thing really means something to you. I talked about this in this past year's Halloween episode. What do you believe? Right? Because that's what we break it down to. Take away the word religion, because you look at the word religion, it deals with organization around what people believe. Okay? That's what the word means. You've got to understand we're talking about belief and what people do as a result of what they believe. So, again, you don't have to go very far in the Bible to get huge amounts of knowledge on how to live. You can study Genesis chapter 1 for a long time and get a lot of knowledge on this world, in this planet we live in, seriously. And here's another example in the Psalms. Psalms 1. This one's been on my heart for a minute, this idea of scorning. I'm from New York, y'all. Born and raised, right? We know about the Amityville Horror House, right? That's my hometown. Shout out to Amityville, okay? Keeping it real, keeping it 100 in an environment that is meant to not thrive and survive. And the town of Amityville done some good. We done some good, man. We working. We're going to keep continuing to develop life and godliness out there, right? Just like my hope would be for any of y'all's towns from where you're from. But understand the thing, in New Yorkers, unfortunately, there's something sown there that happens not just in New York, happens in different states. You can go down south, it's like this. You go out west, it's like this. You go up north, it's like this. This idea of skepticism, cynicism, scorning, where you can't take it seriously. Believe it when you see it. Got a lot of doubting Thomases. And again, nothing wrong with it. But consider the thought of believing in something without having to see it. You know, like the fact that you're being robbed from on a daily basis, but you can't see it. Blessed are people who can see that stuff without actually seeing it. Why? Because you can tell people where to go to avoid the danger. That's the point, y'all. So see, when I talk about separating from this life as it is currently constituted, that is the truth. If you want salvation from people using you around your neighborhood, using you in your family, using you as a friend, using you on your job, not giving you proper health care when you go to the doctor, robbing your pocketbook, you have got to separate. You're mad at how the prices are too high, y'all. You got to separate. I will say this boldly, that the South had it right. They were doing it the wrong way. See, again, you have got to share this thing in order for it to work. It's not the other way around, y'all. It's not where you take in one group and you got your boss hog and he calling people boy and all of this garbage. That's not how the game works, y'all. Boss and employee work hand in hand. Husband and wife work hand in hand. We haven't finished that last episode, that last part, I should say, of relationships. We keeping it, since folks like guns so much, we keeping one in the chamber. You always got to have one in the chamber, right? See, again, firearms are supposed to be for defense. We have turned it into a plaything, y'all, and we are suffering the horrible damage of not being responsible with the weapons of defense. Again, the movie Oppenheimer shows that we allowed ourselves to be driven by the lust of takeover, not defense. That had nothing to do with defense, because if you were going to complete the domination of Japan in World War II, you didn't have to bomb them. But you wanted to show, you gave into the lust of dominance. See, we're going to say what it is. And innocent men and women, see, so the part that people get confused on is this: you don't understand. My grandfather, my great-grandfather, they fought in World War II. Yes, no, I do understand. What you don't understand, what many people don't, looking at these wars, is the farce that they are, because they put innocent men and women on the line. They put their lives on the line, their families on the line, like they do to you every day, to make sure they take the innocence of what should be your success. See, they use defense and they twist it. The holy notion of defending what is your land. And they twist it. Because what you didn't realize was they were trying to take over India during World War II. What you don't realize is that they were still trying to chop up how they took over Africa. Made you think the whole thing was about Germany and the Holocaust, while that was a real thing and a horrible thing against, and a stain on humanity, that we still in the 1940s at that time could not treat people correctly. Till this day, you still see it. People using the holy notions of who wants to love who. Still can't get over this homosexual transgender thing, turning it into a thing where it becomes more of a mind washing and a brainwashing than just allowing people to live and love. Still can't get over it. Just got to stay on it. Same thing with abortion. You won't deal with the fact that people need to have lives of sexual responsibility. No, you want to cut off their means of finding proper health care when necessary. And that's the part people don't want to talk about. They'll put the murder of the baby up in your face, but they don't have a problem Xing off their 90-year-old grandpapa and their 80-year-old grandmama dying from cancer. We don't have a problem pulling the plug on that. But when it come to that baby, though, no, we can't be doing that. See, because we killing life. Well, what's the difference in the life starting or the life ending? See, we are putting differentiations on things that should not be. No, the idea is responsibility. Stop getting knocked up so many times. If you're going to be out there, I told you we weren't going to do a whole class on sex. We're going to drop things here and there. So here's another one. If you're going to be out there in the street freaking, okay, and getting funky with it, you need to use proper protection. This is a thing, y'all. This ain't went nowhere. Yeah, I know they tell you abstinences, and that's fine. You decide to choose and you wait to give it up, as they say, until you get married. Okay. But at the end of the day, Everybody ain't gonna do that. So now what you do about those people? Do you send them all to hell? God knows sex is out here to be used. Come on, y'all. Again, we keep making our creator like us instead of us coming up to the level of our creator. The thing has multiple outcomes, y'all. Use responsibility. Which means, man, since you control what you doing, stop dropping off seed in these women, impregnating them, and leaving them with the bill. Okay? We got to come back to a serious spiritual base. Part of it is in responsibility. So if you're going to be out there freaking and getting funky and everything hanging out and swinging from the chandelier to the hallway lamp, okay, just to keep it all the way real, right? You control whether or not you let off in that woman. This is why I put explicit content, okay, y'all, on my podcast, because there's certain things that have to be said. There's a truth here. You strap down women. So we come into Mother's Day soon. So it's got to be said. We're talking about from the heart of compassion that's missing from people. You're going to sit there and impregnate that woman and then leave that woman to a life, this cold life. We ain't got it yet, y'all. We ain't got it yet. And a lot of it is in this right here. And this is not to the men. Let's see again, the defense is in the mind. This is not to the men. Oh, but KJ, I stayed, and then I got married again, and we got this blended family. I'm not talking to y'all. We talking to your friends that don't care. We talking to family members don't care. We talking to the friends of family members that that don't care, okay? This is, we got to stop this benign neglect thing like we don't know what's going on, because it's not helping. That sideline thing we talked to y'all about, Switzerland joining NATO, this farce of neutrality is a farce indeed. Anyway. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the godly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Now again, switch out man from woman, people, kids, okay, people, huh? This just don't go for men, this goes for people. I know folks like to stay stuck in this idea where it's male dominated. You need to understand a thing. The rules of life are not just to the men. Even though I was just speaking on men as far as sexual responsibility goes. Listen, see, because again, we know the defense is in the mind. You control that which you put in a woman. We understand she might be doing a whole lot of, award-winning stuff to you, okay? But you control it. Anyway. See, again, people don't do a study on sex. So it's hard for folks to come to me and start talking to me now about sexual immorality. When you break down the word immorality, it's talking about things that are right and wrong. When you talk about sex, I know people don't study sex, so all they do is just say, hey, anything you do outside of never mind. I won't say it that way, but I will say anything outside of these 5 things, the rest of it is wrong. That is not true. Just the way people think that there's certain food you should be eating. And outside of these 5 foods, everything else is wrong. That is not true. Remember this, y'all, you look right in Genesis. Many trees of the garden were there for people to eat and enjoy from. It was the irresponsibility that screwed humanity. And it is still till this day. That was in a perfect world, by the way. And it is still the same thing today. We got to take responsibility, y'all. So, scornful. The word scornful. The definition of the word scornful. The feeling or belief that someone or something is worthless or despicable. Now they add in the word contempt. And for fun here, we'll take a few minutes just to speak on the word contempt. Contempt, the feeling that a person or a thing is beneath. Lord. Yo, and this is what life is about, y'all. See, forget all the other stuff that you're reading, that you're seeing, whether it's in holy books and stuff like that. I'm telling you, there's few absolutes. And when we talk about absolutes, here's one of them: love and hate. Again, the Bible talks about how you will love one thing and hate the other. You're not holding on to two things like you think you are. And while there is a middle ground on many things of life, okay, there are opposites on certain things, not everything. This is one of them that keeps coming up. Again, we talk about the patterns that repeat over and over again. The feeling at a person or a thing. So this talking about animals. So when you get your animal abuse, this is what's going on in the mind of people. Regardless of what they're telling you, their actions are saying something else. I just posted that today on my Facebook page. Something about forgot what it was, but it had something to do with the effect of you judging a person by the actions. Again, the thing is in the actions. It's not in the words they're telling you. Somebody could tell you they're loving you all day long and beat your ass in the ground. Literally. That's what goes on in domestic violence, y'all. That ain't the kind of love we're looking for. I'm going to say it again. Person could be telling you they love you, beat your ass in the ground. Now, that just don't have to be physical, by the way. It's emotional. See, we're talking about relationships still, y'all. Still on it, because it's the fabric of life. It don't change. It don't end. When we finish this series, it don't end, y'all. Relationships still happen after this series is over. The feeling that a person or a thing is beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving. Now they tell you deserving scorn, right? So go back to the word scorn. Or this is how you do this. You input the word, the definition in the word, you see. Or okay, so they're deserving, or the feeling that these people is beneath or deserving to be beneath consideration for stuff, worthless, or deserving the feeling or belief that someone is worthless or despicable, y'all. That's what contempt means. Something you can look right up on your phone. I have not gotten into the etymology of the word yet. So, the Bible is telling you, talking about separate, come out from among them and be ye separate. See, and this is normally why when people start to understand a thing about themselves, they come up a little bit higher in their understanding in life, okay? You start to see the things hidden from you. People start to think of you different. Are you okay? There's something wrong. Because they see you separating from the garbage. You're not doing the same things they're doing. Why, guys? Because you can't keep doing the same things you're doing when you realize this stuff. You hurt yourself. You're hurting them. You're not pleasing the grand designer. Why would you do this stuff? See, again, and as a result of you living life like that, you're blessed. Blessed is the person that doesn't sit in the seat of people who, see again, when you see the word, replace it with the definition. Blessed are those who don't sit in the seat of those who have a feeling or belief that someone is or something is worthless or despicable. Or, right? The feeling that a person or a thing is, again, beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving to be looked at as beneath. Y'all, that honestly, because we're not gonna go long today. This is just some simple stuff here that we're gonna drop it and we're gonna keep moving. Guys, you got a reward when you don't act the way the rest of these fools do. Like in your life. I'm not talking about after you die. Nobody said the road was going to be easy. Okay? And for people who keep telling you that, they're not telling you a complete thought. You get rewards for doing what you're doing, but all of it ain't easy. All of it won't be easy. Many of it will be hard. Many of it will have some nights where you're pillow full of tears. But you are doing the right thing. I got to encourage people on that, because I'm done watching what I'm watching, man. Done watching what I'm watching. Y'all want to see life and land and money and all these things passed down to your kids. You better start learning real quick to get away from those who are okay thinking things are beneath, and it comes out in their words, it comes out in their jokes, comes out in their actions. So we're going to drop you with these two here. Number one, this eclipse that's supposed to happen today, okay? The end of the world ain't coming. The Bible tells you no person knows. We have gone over this, I believe, on my podcast before. While the firmaments, and we read this episode or two ago, while the firmaments, right? We're talking stars and the sun and the moon, right? The sky, okay? Different things that make up the firmaments. I understand there's other definitions to it, but we're just going with that for now, okay? So the people can understand the thing. I understand there's some of y'all on there that know there's a little bit more to firmaments. Again, we're not going there, okay? At the end of the day, because you see the moon pass over the sun, that does not mean this is the end of this reality as you know it, y'all. We still got work to do. You don't get off that easy. See, again, people they're looking for a way to get out of this game easy. It's not happening like that. Love has got to start being shown in every aspect, y'all. Got to start loving yourselves. Right? The way the work environment is too much. There's a point where you come to rest. People can't rest no more. Everything out their mouth is the next thing, the next thing. When do you rest? When do we take on the idea that's in the Bible of the Jubilee, where after 7 years you rest? Huh? And nobody want to talk about that, though. We like to do what now? Think that's beneath consideration. Is it? And we pay the price for it. That's why you got a lot of people overweight and high stressed out. Because you following after your master that's telling you need to work more. But you only need to work more not so you get more. You need to work more so they get more. Got to come away from that, y'all. To my black brothers and sisters, it's time for us to band together, get our own business. This ain't no hate against the white man. Stop falling into that garbage. Stop falling into that mess that they programmed in your mind. You don't hate nobody. We're talking about preserving ourselves the way they preserve themselves, the way anybody would preserve anyone. You get your own distributions, your own resources. You take those God-given gifts you've been given to sing and dance and run and play basketball and sports and all this, that influence that's been put on you, just like there's influence in everybody else. And instead of being dependent, we start being independent. Take a cue from what you see in these Black Panther movies, y'all. Wakanda's a real idea. You take your resources. Now, we're not talking the African part of it, see, because all across these lands, dark people lived. The folks that are called black, that are called Negro, that are called colored, were all over this planet, y'all. That's just the truth, okay? It's time people start living in peace, allowing people to live and rise to places of prosperity and peace, and we stop cutting each other's throats. There's no reason to be cutting each other's throats, y'all. So just a couple things in closing. One, WrestleMania 40 was cool, because I said I was going to talk about it on my Facebook page, so here we go. WrestleMania was cool. I thought the Hall of Fame was more cooler, if you want, just to mess with the English language. Again, when you realize the thing is made up, you put less, it's how we talk to each other, it's how we communicate. Again, there's other languages in which we could communicate, but I digress. At the end of the day, see, again, for those that are joking about that, while I'm saying that again, realize the word scornful there. We're talking about what's implanted in the mind, y'all. Just saying. Anyway, Paul Heyman's speech was impactful, especially for me. Anybody who has a revolutionist type of mindset, a kind of mindset that wants to come away from the norm, And I think in wrestling, it's gotten dull. I think if you're talking about a fight in the street, you're not doing a little dance. You're getting down and gritty with it. Okay? I understand the big bruiser Brody mentality of the 80s and some of the 90s. Okay? But little people get down too. All right? I think all we need to do is watch a UFC, and this for the women too. So whether you're watching a UFC flyweight match, see again, we're talking about a simulated fight, right? So that thing got to look real. It's got to look edgy. You know, go to a middleweight UFC men's match. It's been a while since I've watched UFC on the regular, but you know, you go to the lightweight. You know, you go to your lightest weight, I should say. So I forgot what the name of it is. You saw, you know, back in the day when I was watching, Demetrius Johnson was running the game, man. Small man, but you better not mess with him in that octagon circle, if you will, or yeah, octagon circle, that octagon ring. You better not mess with him. He'll put you down, right? This is the idea that people have to have in life in general. Folks need to stop messing with each other, which is why this whole Will Smith. See, I didn't have a chance to talk about this before, but we're going to talk about it. See, we're talking to Seed of the Scornful. And then we're going to end off with this. We got a couple minutes here. We'll end off with this. Things beneath, things considered beneath, things with a despicable, you know, to rob that from Daffy Duck, right? You know, suffering succotash and all that kind of stuff, right? This kind of idea of just discrediting things. You need to be careful, y'all. You need to be careful how much you do that. For inasmuch as you do this to the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you do this also to me. That's what Jesus said. We have to be careful how much we're discrediting, y'all. How much we're hating on people. We got to be careful because you can go too far. And you're told to not think on something more highly than it should be thought on. Don't think of yourself. Now, see, again, yourself is something, right? So it would go just from past yourself to someone else. Don't think in a scenario more highly than you or lower than you should, right? Be mindful of these things. They're using it to hurt you. Again, if they see y'all have this problem with homosexuality, they don't care about the homosexual. They're going to use it to cause another level of division, thereby y'all fighting back and forth. And while y'all fighting over something that actually shouldn't be fought over, they're there to take your money. Just like my Palestinian and Israeli brothers and sisters, while you are worried and fighting over who's owning land, they are using your division to take from you. It is the same thing that happens in the church with Christians. I was in a conversation with a brother a couple days ago speaking on the word Catholic, which we will have a conversation on. Just came right to my heart. Do a word search on it. It deals with the undivided. Well, you know what? While we're here, we got a few minutes. Let's just pull it up on the old computer. So that we are saying a thing to y'all so you understand what's going on. See, you've got to think in terms of a different side of the planet, because all we know is USA. All that you have been taught is USA. When you live on a whole planet, you live on a whole planet, man, but all you know is USA. And the further you go and you start seeing a thing, it will change your life. Here we go. All right, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, so here we go. One, just a straight up definition when you type in Catholic definition, including a wide variety of things. This is an adjective. All embracing. Interesting. Now remember, many things you're going to hear them say is Roman Catholic Church. See, again, guys, the thing is all embracing. So it ain't just Rome. See, unfortunately, the church, like I've told y'all many times on this podcast, the church has been a puppet for evil. They've been a puppet for the government. Jesus gave a very clear definition into how this is supposed to look when you were told on giving taxes. Give to Caesar what's Caesar's, but give to God what is God's. Interesting how we ignore the balance and why we pay the price for rejecting knowledge, exactly what the Bible talks about. We're perishing because of it, y'all. People not coming to your church with that level of hypocrisy. They're not. Because you deny that which is the thing that connects all people. And yet y'all want to make fun of Star Wars. No, that's fictional, KJ. The force ain't real. What you mean? That which connects all living things. Again, look at the word that we have put on things about belief, y'all. All encompassing. Huh? Out of the 1580s, not narrow-minded or bigoted. I'm looking at the etymology of this word here. It's online etymology dictionary. It's another thing. Y'all need to have a lot of dictionaries, thesauruses, all of this stuff. You got to break down words and phrases, y'all, because this is where you want to know the secret sauce. This is where it is. It'll be shocking what you find. In Greek, it deals with the part of the word holos, which means whole, well kept, universally accepted. It's got nothing to do with East or West. It's got nothing to do with Roman. Ancient church is what it says. From the mid 1400s, there's certain things that have been buried, y'all. This superficial garbage that we call Christianity now, and I must say it that way because that's what it is. The Bible calls it chaff. When speaking between wheat and what looks like wheat, which is a weed, which is chaff. You got a lot of superficial garbage out here. As compared to that which comes from the Ancient of Days, the belief that humans have in what we call God. I digress. See, when you hear that word Catholic, now see, when they put the ism on there, it gets a little different. Because again, you're using the idea of universal belief for an agenda and to separate and conquer and divide. Everything you see with that word Catholic deals with stuff that has nothing to do with the millions of, it feels like millions. It's actually a bunch of thousands, but millions of denominations. You know, when you look online, they got like some records show like 45,000 denominations. What are we doing, y'all? What are we? Never mind. We'll have a different conversation on that. We'll have a different conversation on that when the voice is a little stronger. This eclipse today, y'all, the world ain't ending, okay? No man knows me, no people, right? Nobody knows when the end of the world is coming, so stop doing that, okay? We're wasting our time. Be more involved in being good to somebody today. Your black brother and sister who is suffering out here in this world, in this sick system, be good to them today. Your Latin brother, right? Your Indian brother, your native brother, right? Be good to your other so-called white brother and realize that we're all part of this sick soup. And as a result, while we work on having a better life here, be good and shelter each other from this garbage, huh? Refuge. I believe it was the Rolling Stones back in the day made a song called Gimme Shelter. What a powerful song, y'all. Somewhere where you can run away from this garbage. That whole thing with Will Smith and Chris Rock, just to end here real quick, I've gone a little bit over. This idea, y'all, that you just sit back and let people joke on you. You must consider what battle you pick. Let me be clear, okay? You must consider what battle you pick. However, the idea that people are okay just saying a thing. This idea we took freedom of speech and we forgot about the responsibility of speech. Man, oh man, oh man. We're just too concerned about the freedom. that we forgot about how to live. You look at past civilizations, y'all. There was a serious sense of responsibility. Certain things you just don't do, and a penalty for when you do them. Now, that's not to say they were complete in thought. Come on, no human is complete in thought, which is why you know when you look back at certain civilizations, everybody can improve. Whether it be African, whether it be European, no matter where on the planet, no person is complete. Yet, there's a lot to learn from prior civilizations, like the idea that everybody was primitive and had no idea what the hell they were doing down here. Yes, they did. They had civilizations torn down, just like the Greenwood District in Tulsa, to make room for somebody else's stuff they stole. That's just the truth. The further you look up into life and human history, the more you keep finding it. Defense of yourself is important, y'all, and that thing ain't got to be violent. You ain't got to walk up on stage and slap somebody, okay? However, okay, we got to be okay with the idea of defending yourself in situations that are not okay. It's not okay to go clowning on black women's hair, y'all. Anybody's hair, right? Since we believe all lives matter. You got to speak to the heart of the deception here, because this is where the truth comes out. No need to be making fun of those who are homosexual, emo, or any other distinction that you consider different from male and female, right? Or heterosexual. You don't need to be making fun of them. You don't need to be killing them. Right, because we're just living down here. If love works no ill to their neighbor, y'all, then that means a lot of this mess we got to stop doing. And then that is the salvation. See, again, people look at the word love a little out of balance. The entity that has been created, which is love, y'all, has got nothing to do with the idea of you being walked on. When you love somebody, you respect them. That includes your enemy. That's why it says you can love your enemy. However, that don't mean you let them walk on you. Hello? And that don't mean you don't love them because you don't let them walk on you or hurt you or hold you down in a system that doesn't give you proper profit for the work you do. So I hope we are, that's another thing just to mention. April is all about health this month. The month of April, man, I know we keep saying we're going in. We'll leave y'all with this one thought here to understand about the month you're in. Okay. And I understand. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, which I do consider a friend on certain levels here. Okay. Dealing with, and this article is from the American Heart Association, as far as the different things with months and why there needs to be, specifically on Black history, but why there needs to, if you expand the thought, why there has to be accentuations on the months, because people are not accentuating people. That's why. That's why. To know and find out that there was a African emperor that helped England build walls in one of their major cities, which was London, is proof of that fact. Because I know as soon as I said it, y'all didn't know that. But look up Emperor Severus. Look up Emperor Severus, an African emperor, helped to build the walls of London. Now, how about that primitive for you there? Huh? The further you keep going on studying history, y'all, it's going to shock y'all in the coming years what you'll find, to show you how much of a game is being played with you. Guys, it's about the pirates who took the stuff and them keeping their stuff. That's just what it is. And while that's a thing that humans can do, it's not helping the rest of society. It's only helping the pirates that stole the stuff. and the friends and family they passed it down to. April is national, now they call it National Minority Health Month. Let's just be honest. Everybody needs to walk. Yet, since they put minority health on it, hey minorities, it's time to get out there and be healthy. Right? We talk about heart disease. Which one, who does heart attacks and heart disease affect the worst, y'all, huh? Yeah, we'll say it. Black folks and women. Which is a minority. Unfortunately, because men assume that the thing is all theirs. Yet God told you at the beginning of this thing you need help. So how in the world could it all be yours? Anyway, Stress Awareness Month and moving. It also features National Walking Day, which let me just look into that because that's a little intriguing. Okay, well that passed 5 days ago. Wednesday, April 3rd. You know, I like having fun on things that deal in real time, guys, because everything is an act. Everybody's trying to look cool, and we can't make no mistakes, and folks can't find out no information when they're doing something. And guys, cut that break. You know, they talk about breaking the fourth wall, like in comics and stuff like that, and we watching the movies where forget all this mess, guys. Forget all this garbage. Be good to each other. That's what Jerry Springer said. Be good to yourselves and each other. And one of the things is to your physical body. Get out there and walk around, y'all. See, again, this is what we're talking about. Y'all working, and we can say it, they're plantations. Come on now. The modern day plantations are jobs we work on, y'all. ain't no harm in saying it. Heck, most bosses will tell you the same thing. When they're conscious about certain things, they'll tell you the same thing. Can't go. And if you leave, harder to find another one. Huh? They got to judge you on certain criteria, whether they'll buy you for a small amount of money. I mean, it's plantation life, y'all. It's what it is. And again, while I break it down that way, let's be careful on how we joke on it. Because that's a horrible life to live, man. Ain't it horrible living paycheck to paycheck? It's horrible living like that. Shame you don't know certain things about finances, isn't it? People could be starting businesses all over the place, but see, in doing that, you would tear down the fabric of that which is. Folks don't want a lot of small businesses. They tell you that. They don't want a lot of small businesses. Small businesses goes into the pocket of you. While you do feed into your communities and stuff like that, you'll have thriving communities all over the places. You would have to stop most of the violence that happens in certain places so people could have businesses. Because see, what'll start happening if you don't cut down the gunplay, businesses can't be in these big towns. Now they got to go to small ones. Now you cut down your profit because you've got less people, unless more of all them people to come into the smaller towns. And yet, if that was the case, you would still rebuild the whole thing all over again, because now towns would build up overnight. Oh, wait, where have we seen that happen before? Never mind. Oh, see, that's why I say when we get it, we'll get it. When we get it, we're going to be there, man. It's going to look real cool. But until then, we all can keep enjoying that longer than 9 to 5. Dolly Parton said it was 9 to 5. It ain't 9 to 5 no more, man. They got that thing. They got that thing damn near 6 to midnight, and then let you wake up, let you go to sleep. Maybe, and I said let you go to sleep a couple hours to go do it all over again. Oh boy. 2 questions that I pose to society. 2. And in human history, sometimes the answer is probably there, but this is just 2 questions. 1, what will it take for folks to get it? And 2, when will that occur? But I tell you what, like I always say, once we get it, there won't be no stopping us, man. So that's what I got for y'all today. Thank you for walking on this road with me here with my lesson voice. We are on the road to recovery. Again, shout out one time to professional wrestling. Wrestlemania is good. Again, I do think Roman Reigns went a little too long. We don't need to see one person for 1,300 days. You've got to realize that when Bruno and Hogan and all these people were doing that, wrestling was on a small circuit. You had multiple promotions. There was something going on there that there was a need for that. You don't need that today. We understand 2020 and the pandemic and all that kind of thing. You don't need it. You got a lot of people out there, y'all. We got a lot of people, okay? We got a lot of wrestlers out there we need to see. Other than just one dude. I thought the bloodline thing was cool, putting Samoans to the front. Lord knows all that. Again, I think the Rock thing was a little over. There's no reason to do all that with the Rock. There was no reason to do all that with the Rock. You could have sold that. You could have sold the whole storyline without doing it. I knew that it was a little predictable. I knew, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on my podcast and stuff like that. Yeah, again, and this will feed everybody who says it's fake, and that's fine. Y'all have a happy day with it. But again, we knew Cody was losing that first match. We knew he was winning the second one. Okay, they built that thing up way too much. They built it up. They made it obvious, actually. The longer you keep watching wrestling, the more you pick up on these things. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm interested to see how they're going to do with Damage Control, because, again, 3 Asian women together in a society where they ain't about these different cultures. Again, and pay attention to the cultures, y'all. America ain't the only one. The U.S. ain't the only one. So yeah, look out for each other. Shout out one time to Wrestlemania, professional wrestling. Again, shout out to AEW. Again, you need competition to make this thing run. So, healthy competition. We ain't talking about cutting each other's throats, because that's a whole other thing that we'll talk about. Thank y'all for walking down this road with me, and as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.